kind introduction and opportunity that has been given. Thank you, Alembic, for the webinar. And I'm just trying to share my screen. I think is it visible
Yeah,
now?
you're now. Yeah.
Okay. So without further ado, I'll just give me 1 second. We'll just get to it. So we're going to start our webinar with COVID-19 testing, a concern in uncertain times. All of us have been changing our plans to reopen every second or third day, and we have different ideas about what needs to be done when. So a little bit about the COVID-19, which has taken over all our lives for the past 1.5, 2 months. Basically, it can have signs of shock. There can be including cold extremities without hypertension, severe metabolic acidosis, microcirculation dysfunction, which is one of the reasons why extrapulmonary effects are also seen. Severe lymphopenia has been noted in patients who have succumbed to the disease, and it affects the air-blood barrier and the alveoli of the lungs. Also, overt grade DIC has been seen in significant number of mortalities, and these are the reasons why there is this sudden deterioration and death also seen with COVID-19, which makes it extremely dangerous. So there are two ways the COVID-19 infection will go. All of us want it to go the mild infection way where nothing happens, your effector T cells and macrophages take care of the virus and you're fine. You may be an asymptomatic carrier or you may even have mild symptoms and be okay. The other way is where it goes into a severe infection. There is a cytokine storm that takes place and followed by a lymphopenia, cell death, and other end organs get affected. This is when the patient really goes into multi-organ failure and sometimes DIC, which is an overt grade DIC. Why are we talking about COVID-19 symptoms and signs and testing per se? We're going to focus with this 5 minutes on types, sensitivity and specificity, what's next for us, and how is it relevant to us in our OPD and routine practice. So COVID-19 testing can be divided into two ways. Basically, you can either detect the virus directly or you can detect the host's response to the virus. So either it could be a molecular or a nucleic acid test or an immunological test. So these are the two kinds of tests that are potentially available. The nucleic acid amplification test is the RT-PCR, which is being done all around the world, and the other is the antibody detection. RT-PCR is can be called the gold standard as of now because right now that's the best bet that we have. Current infection of SARS-CoV-2 can be detected immediately, and this is the test that we are majorly going into these days. Another test which is having a increased interest is that of rapid diagnostic tests. Problem with rapid diagnostic tests, we will come to them shortly, but there are two types. Either you can detect the antigen and directly detect the viral antigen, or you can detect the antibody that the body has produced to the viral antigen. First things first, the viral antigen detection test would be more like a stick test, and this kind of a test requires you to have this. And I hope my cursor is visible. So this is a positive test or a negative test. You want either one of these tests to happen. So basically, the control arm of the test has to become positive. This actually validates your test and tells you that this test is valid, and so its interpretation can be taken at face value. If the control is not visible in either of the tests, whether it is positive or negative, you really cannot rely on this particular test. So sensitivity of various companies that are providing this test is ranging from 35 to 80%. It can help for medical triaging, but we need to understand whether these antibodies have a function. This antigen that is producing the viral antigen, whether it is having any helpful this thing at the end of it. Right now, WHO is not recommending these tests. Rapid diagnostic test of another kind is the antibody detection test. Now, the problem with antibody detection tests is that A, antibodies and seroconversion takes place only in the second week of symptoms. Secondly, the strength of the response depends on various things like age, nutritional status, severity, and even the immune status of the patient itself. So there are a lot of variable responses that you can have. Secondly, false positive tests are theoretically possible with antibodies to other human coronaviruses. Right now, it is not recommended by WHO in its present form for the pandemic because really you don't know whether the antibodies that are produced are protective in nature or not. So right now, our best bet right now is real-time RT-PCR. It detects the RNA of the virus. However, the current test that is being done is qualitative in nature, meaning that it will tell you whether the RNA of the virus is present or absent. There's no information about the viral load. There's no information about the prognostic value of finding out the viral load. This test in its present form can be modified to tell us about the viral load, but right now it's not possible because of the pandemic situation. Sensitivity
Dr.
again will
Devyani,
range from, yes, sir.
yeah, you'll have to tell us what is currently available, what they are doing in
Yes, yes.
Rajkot,
Yes, sir.
and
Yeah,
what we
I'm
can
coming
be
to
done
that.
on one.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, sir. So
yeah.
I'll just get to it directly then. Uh,
Hmm.
so right now, basically, there's one more thing that I will talk about is CT scan. There is an increasing interest in whether CT chest can help us diagnose these patients. There is little consensus on that. But this one paper that was published in Radiology is a consensus of all thoracic surgeons, pulmonologists, and radiologists. They don't feel that mild clinical features or asymptomatic patients should undergo CT scan for that. So right now in the entire country, what we are doing is basically this. RT-PCR is being done. All symptomatic patients, all patients of contacts, all healthcare workers who are symptomatic, and patients with severe acute respiratory illness are undergoing these tests. Asymptomatic direct and high risk contacts of confirmed cases are also undergoing these tests between day 5 and day 14. So hotspot areas are having this
These are
kind of an
blood tests
algorithm.
or the swab test?
No, sir, these are swab tests. RT-PCR is being done for nasopharyngeal and oropharyngeal swab. Bronchoalveolar lavage is also being taken, but these are not serological tests. So these are basically swab tests, and therefore
And how
depends
much
on the
time do they
quality of
take
swab.
for the result? How much time do
So the
they take?
result takes from 12 to 24 hours. Depends on which
Right.
company and what is the reagent being used, etc. But it takes around 12 to 24 hours for the
And
results to come.
anything faster is available for us for daily use?
No, no, sir. There is no availability of these tests kind of over the counter or on prescription from us. So I'm just coming to that after this
Right.
strategy of hotspot areas. If it is symptoms like influenza-like virus, illness is less than 7 days, then the patient undergoes RT-PCR. If it's positive, it's confirmed. Negative means susceptible and will still have to undertake all precautions. More than 7 days duration illness, rapid antibody test is being uh, suggested, but in Rajkot, we don't have rapid antibody test available as of now. Quarantine will be required for these patients, and if you feel that the clinical suspicion is high, then RT-PCR is the final thing that we have to do. So our ground reality is testing is not available freely. Each suspect case has to be referred to medicine department in medical college, and they will decide on the basis of their assessment and their criterion whether whether the patient is needing this test or no. RT-PCR alone is being done, and the results are available within a day. But these are very specific criteria under which the testing is possible. Right now, no rapid testing is available in Rajkot, and each patient, after having hospital isolation for at least 14 days, has to have two consecutive negative tests for discharge and followed by 14 days of home quarantine. That's what is being followed in Rajkot today. So,
So
as
only
of
one
now,
type of test is available,
yes,
right?
yes,
If
sir,
I get it
yes,
right.
sir, yes,
Yeah.
sir. So right
Right.
now, our only options are to equip ourselves with appropriate PPE and wait for the vaccine. Thank
Right.
you.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Devyani.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Dr. Ketan
I
Bavishi
think there is
can unmute himself
one question from
and
Dr. Ketan Bhavesh.
yeah. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So I hope that has
There is
been
one
answered.
question
Which
from Dr. Ketan Bhavesh, sir.
Yes, sir. I'll
Yes,
do
right.
yes,
that.
it is answered.
Yeah.
Devyani, with at
Yes, sir.
present, with very good presentation.
Thank you, sir.
The only concern about the routine practice, which test you recommend before any ophthalmic procedure?
Sir, right now we don't have consensus for any pre-op investigation. I also spoke to a microbiologist and asked him whether there is any role
Please
of
make
doing any.
Dr. Akash Patel the presenter. Yeah, carry on,
Yeah,
Devanish.
is there any? Yeah, is there any role of? Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, is there any role of making any blood investigation like CBC or anything? The only thing is that we have to take history and rule out contacts. That's all we can do right now because there is no specific test. If you have a very strong suspicion, then probably CT scan. It's someone who is good at reading that CT scan. But other than that, there is no investigation that you can do pre-op and be because we don't
What
even know
about
whether antibody for COVID is protective in nature. So antibody ka presence is only telling you whether the patient was infected or not. Whether the patient
okay?
will get the infection again is not something that we are sure right now.
And what about chest X-ray? Is there any role?
Chest only in patients. So chest X-ray also beyond a certain moderate to severe illness shows the changes of chest X-ray. And before that, if you want to say, you have to do CT scan. So chest X-ray also will be for a patient who actually has active pneumonitis. Obviously, we are not going to consider surgery for such patients. So if we are
Okay.
considering surgery for asymptomatic patients, there is no way of knowing except if you do an antigen.
So as it stands
Which
now,
not
for an asymptomatic patient, and if you want to get a test done, it is not possible, right?
not possible today. No, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, even if you
Okay.
do the test, it is not very useful.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but you can at least isolate that person and
No, sir.
avoid.
No. My point is that the sensitivity of the test is very low. So even if the patient is false negative,
Right.
we may have a false sense of security, and we may go ahead and operate such patients. So the test itself is not robust, and PCR,
Right.
what it does is it amplifies the sample. So we don't know the actual viral load. We can go back and find out through PCR how much was the original viral load, but at this point of time, they are not telling what is the viral load that we are looking at. It is not a quantitative test. It is just a qualitative test,
Qualitative.
which
Yes.
is sensitive enough to tell you that there is a viral load. There is a presence of
Right.
COVID-19.
And is there a quantitative test going to come anytime soon? What do you think, Dr.
Uh,
Devyani?
no, sir. Right now, there is no, for us in our scenario, we are not expecting that the quantitative test is being focused on. Probably an antibody test in the next 1 year will be available to us. Like we are doing HIV, HBsAg, we might be able to do a COVID-19 stick test, but that is also something where its sensitivity has to improve a lot before it becomes really reliable. Also, the next 1 year will tell us whether the immunity is being there. Like SARS patients who had in 2003 similar virus, so they have protective immunity. So protective immunity, whether COVID people are also having, is something we will come to know only after further studies, I think.
And I think this antibody test will be more important because if at all, one, we come to know that it is protective or not, and second thing is whether it is present or not. So if it is protective only, then it is of importance.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Any more questions regarding the testing? We'll take it later. We'll move on to the next topic. I invite Dr. Akash Patel to tell us